What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet, and you're watching the only gaming news show that wants to wish you a happy Switchmas Eve. First off, you may have noticed that I went ahead and cut the intro, and that's because I just don't think I'm going to use it moving forward. I know some of you liked it, but some of you didn't. But at the end of the day, I think intros are just kind of silly. I do enough branding just by looking like me and saying my usual intro, so I think that'll be enough moving forward. Secondly, I don't have a sponsor for this week, so I just wanted to do a little bit of self-promotion. Don't forget, I stream several nights a week on twitch.tv/boogie2988. You can follow me on twitter.com/boogie2988, facebook.com/boogie2988, and if you follow me there, you get a bunch of extra content, as well as get alerted when videos go live. All right, first off, it's here. It's finally here. It's Switchmas Eve as I'm recording this right now. We're about 24 hours away from the midnight launches. It's going to drop a bunch of Nintendo Switches on everybody, and people will be playing Breath of the Wild very, very soon. Now, as you guys know, I was hesitant to get hyped about this game because I was afraid that it would turn out to not be as great as I was hoping it would be. I thought it might turn out to only be pretty good. But fortunately, the very first review for this game has come out, and Edge Magazine has given it a 10 out of 10. They're calling it the perfect game. Now, I think it's significant to take a look at the other games that Edge Magazine has given a 10 out of 10. Super Mario 64, Gran Turismo, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Halo Combat Evolved, Half-Life 2, Halo 3, The Orange Box, Super Mario Galaxy, Grand Theft Auto 4, Little Big Planet, Bayonetta, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Rock Band 3, Skyward Sword, and The Last of Us. And I have to say, this is a list of some of my all-time favorite games. Maybe not Skyward Sword. But besides that one review, I've also talked to people who have played the game. There's tons of spoilers out there, and I've read some of the spoilers, and there's enough information out there to officially make me feel a little bit hyped. And while I will never get fully on the hype train until I've played the game myself, I'm about as hyped as I possibly can get, and I kind of feel bad that I ever doubted it. They do say there's no accounting for personal taste, so if you're still not excited about this game and you're still not interested in it, you don't think it's worth picking up a Switch, I absolutely understand. I get it. But please respect those of us who are super excited, because Zelda games are still my favorite games of all time. Which brings me to the Nintendo Switch itself, and I have to say, I've watched as many hands-on reviews, and I've watched all of the critical stuff, and while I have not touched one myself, I think I have a pretty good idea of what everyone is thinking about the system overall. For the most part, everybody does seem to like their Nintendo Switch. There have been some legitimate complaints and some legitimate gripes. Some people don't feel like the screen is big enough. Some people feel like the Joy-Cons are too small for their hands. There has been some pairing issues with the left Joy-Con. If you have stuff in the way that's easily replicated, that may need to be fixed by a firmware patch. But besides those complaints, for the most part, everyone who's even made those complaints have seemed to have enjoyed their console very, very much. Nintendo seems to have designed this thing fairly well. It seems to do exactly what Nintendo wanted it to do, and it seems that it's doing what consumers wanted it to do as well. So I do think, since pre-orders sold out and it's getting a lot of positive reviews from people who have one, I think the Nintendo Switch is here to stay for a while. I don't think we're going to see a Wii U situation. But beating out the Wii U is not that important, and really what I want it to do here is I want it to compete with the PlayStation or the Xbox or PC gaming. And I really don't think that they'll be able to get the third-party support to be able to do that, because I don't know that they'll be able to get full AAA games, the really exciting games, on the system. What they definitely will be able to do, though, is create some incredible first-party games and create some incredible indie games, as well as having lots of indie developers developing for the system, and I think this will be a great supplemental console. It'll probably never replace a lot of people's Xboxes or PlayStations or PCs for their primary gaming unit, but for a console that you play on the go, that you also hook up to your television, and also as a Breath of the Wild machine, I expect this thing to be wildly successful in that area. So we all remember PlayStation Now, which was the subscription service that PlayStation offered that had a host of problems. It was way too expensive. It ate up data caps as you were trying to stream the games. Often the data quality would not be that good depending on your internet. When it came to streaming the games, there was lag because you were streaming the games. Xbox has decided to offer their own subscription service, and it looks like they have fixed a lot of those problems. They're calling it Xbox Game Pass, and for $10 a month, you'll get access to a large digital library of older games, and this is supposed to launch sometime this year, maybe as early as spring. Now, this is not a streaming service. You are not streaming the games from a cloud, which was my biggest complaint when it came to PlayStation Now. You are actually downloading the game as if you own it and playing it on your Xbox, and you can actually play the game with your Xbox entirely offline for up to 30 days. I should also point out that this is not included with Xbox Gold. Xbox Gold and Game Pass are completely different things, and I don't even know that they'll ever bundle them together. Now, I think the biggest complaint I think anybody will have about this is you probably cannot expect brand new AAA games to come out on a service like this. This is going to probably focus on older games that are generally not selling copies very much, but are still very good games. I think that this service is being provided for a few different reasons. The first is to give very good value to Xbox consumers. The second is to directly compete with the used game market. By offering these games via this service, they are remonetizing those games by people choosing to purchase add-ons and stuff like that that you won't get with the Game Pass. Secondly, if you are interested in one of these games and it's available via Game Pass, you probably will not go down to your local used game store and purchase those games, giving them profit. Instead, the profit goes to Microsoft and the developers, and I think that's pretty cool. But can I say thank you, Xbox, because this is one of the most pro-consumer things a console has ever done. For the budget-conscious gamer, this could not be better. For $10 a month, you have an access to this huge library of games that you might have otherwise purchased for $20 new or for $15 used, and instead you just simply download them from home. You can play as much as you want. You can play as many as you want. I honestly don't think you can beat this. This is really, really great. So good job, Xbox. A quick note to Nintendo, if you do this with your Virtual Console games, I would be so happy. You will make the Nintendo Switch the best-selling console of all time. Of all time! Okay, so I normally do not talk about PC gaming very much here, but I hope that you'll bear with me for a little while, because I did just want to point out two PC aficionados who do not mind spending a little bit of money to upgrade their rigs. The best video card of all time is officially being released here on March the 5th. The GTX 1080 Ti, which is 30% faster than the 1080. This is probably the video card that I'm probably going to purchase to upgrade my 980 Ti for. It's clocking in at a very reasonable, but still very expensive $699. But for the Ti series, this is one of the cheapest we've ever seen. So if you hate money and you're not picking up a Nintendo Switch, maybe this is for you. Now, this card will be my very first entry into 4K gaming at 60 frames per second. So I'm really looking forward to that. If I do choose to purchase this on Monday, though, I think it is hysterical that I'm also purchasing the Nintendo Switch, which is a 900p console, 720p when it's undocked. So I guess graphics don't really matter. But then why am I spending $700 to get better graphics? I don't know. But I do know one thing. On Monday, I'm going to be broke as a joke. All right, so obviously tomorrow night when midnight rolls around, I'm going to be swapping over to Breath of the Wild, but until then, I've been enjoying the living hell out of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I thought it would be fun if we went ahead and unboxed my copy of the Collector's Edition. And I want to go ahead and say, before I do, I have to say this is one of my favorite games I played this year, and it is definitely a contender for the top 10 video games of the year for me. It might even come in around second or third. All right, well, here is our copy of the game in a still box. Here is the art book. Who cares about this? We only care about statues in this house. Whoa. There we go. Her bow is still in plastic, I guess, to protect it. Man, this smells like a Dungeons and Dragons mini. You can tell. It smells like that fresh plastic and paint combination. Oh, man. I either love it or hate it. I don't know which. Well, there she is, Aloy. I love that costume design. It is pretty incredible. The bows, the costumes. Her face looks, I think, a lot prettier here than it does in-game. Oh, man, I love the Watcher figure at her feet, too. Damn, does this light up or something? Because if that lit up, that would be so dope. First, I should say that I did pay for this collector's edition. This wasn't a gift from Sony, but Sony did give me a review code, so I did get to play the game a little early, and I have to say, I really enjoy this game. In fact, I streamed it quite a bit, and I put the first 2 hours of my stream of that game over on my secondary channel, Boogie Plays. If you want to go check that out, I hope that you do. But let me say, if you have seen the first couple of hours of this game, I don't think it's indicative of the game overall, because the first couple of hours is a lot of cutscenes, a lot of talking, a lot of character development, and a lot of chatting, but eventually, after that 2-hour mark, you're unleashed in the valley, and then you are able to do pretty much what you want, and that's when it becomes all about hunting dinosaurs and murdering stuff and helping out people, and I've got to say, that is some of the most fun combat I have ever experienced in a video game. So if you're not one of the people starting Legend of Zelda this weekend and picking up a Nintendo Switch, and you already have a PlayStation, I really do think you should look into this game. And even if you wait until it's a budget title, please be sure to play this game at some point, because after that 2-hour mark, when things go off the chain, and they really do, and the combat goes wild, and you're hunting giant, massive robots or entire cities of other tribes, I gotta say, it's some of the best gameplay I've ever had, and it's certainly going to be on my Game of the Year list. But that's just one man's opinion. I could be wrong, and I quite often am, and I know you'll let me know in the comments section below. And while you're there, let me know what you think about the games I talked about. Let me know what you think about the intro disappearing. Let me know what you think about this show overall, what you think about the job I'm doing here overall, what you think about the Nintendo Switch, and so on and so forth. And let me say, guys, as always, thank you for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, because as I continue to progress with the show, I want to continue to offer more and more opinions. Even if you guys disagree with them, stand my ground and say the things that I feel when it comes to gaming. And I hope that you guys will enjoy that. But until then, thanks for watching.